Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is herO. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters. I've actually let this run a little bit fast. Usually I go to the 1 minute mark and then start casting because not much happens, but I've pushed it out to the 2 minute mark. So I don't think we've missed too much. But before we comment on the game, let's actually introduce the players because I think that's a good starting spot. So up the top left side of the map, it is Mr. TLO, 23 years old, from Germany, plays for Team Liquid, and is quite awesome, although we don't really see him as much as we would like to in all these casting these games and stuff. And his opponent down the bottom right side, it is Mr. herO. Down there, he is 21 years old, from South Korea, plays for the CJ Enters team, and is frequently confused by yours truly with the other herO, because yeah, I'm not actually that confused, but I thought it was a nice comment to say so. So anyway, already falling flat in this commentary, and I suppose we'll just have to rely on the actual gameplay to get us through, because obviously any sort of comedic timing or funny quotations that may come out of my mouth obviously aren't going to carry us through. So anyway, let's move on. We do have a pull into hatch build coming out of Mr. TLO. A little bit safe and a little bit surprising actually on this base, although he has gone for a very, very fast 3 base approach. So maybe the early pull is actually going to allow him to build out a ton of queens very early on, which is definitely not a bad idea, although he's not building a queen here. He's actually waiting to get one down over there, so yes, should be good. And my voice feels a little bit funny at the moment, so it doesn't quite have that resonance that it usually has. It's a little bit hoarse. I have no idea why, but I mean, I've been through worse periods where my voice is just completely gone, and I basically had to, instead of shouting, I just had to talk at like a very slow, normal voice for the entire video, and that happened for like 4 or 5 days, which was quite annoying. I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4 gates coming down here, so going to be quite a lot of units that Mr. herO can get out. Not going to be any sort of really aggressive play, but it is going to be enough to protect this Nexus. So now he's going to have the 4 gate. He can afford to really go to town on the macro and still have enough production to actually deal with that. Looks like the sentry is coming out. The Stalker is keeping guard on the top side. Now going to be chasing away a couple of lings. I think herO did see them, and he's going to chase them away. We've got the mothership core and the pylon, and I can assume that Mr. TLO is going to be fervently searching for that pylon. Excuse me a second. I just needed a drink there. So there we go. TLO comes across, sees that thing. 3 zealots have already come out, and we've got a pylon over there putting out a 4th zealot. Mr. TLO, who has basically just link production at the moment. No roach warren as far as I can tell. No, not building one other. He's going to have to rely on lings, and lings at the moment are not looking like they're in. They're in at the moment. I think they are definitely out, and I think TLO is pretty screwed here actually. He's trying to build a ton of lings, trying to overwhelm Mr. herO, but herO is building nothing but zealots, and I don't think that in a macro game here that just building a ton of units that Mr. TLO is actually going to win. Look at that, the zealots just turned around, started attacking the lings, doing amazing damage. TLO surprisingly not pulling them away until it's far, far too late, and he's really knocking those zealots back. He really is doing a ton of damage to them, but I would have thought he'd have pulled away once the zealots turned around and started attacking him, because I mean, he could never have believed that he actually had a chance of saving this base, so he should just be focusing on economically killing these guys, keeping his lings as live as long as possible, doing as much damage to the zealots as possible, and did lose a ton of lings, so not all that good. The lings are running around, hoping to actually do something here, but more zealots continuing to warp in. herO is going absolutely ballistic on the lings. And we do have a Baneling Nest coming out, but I don't think this is going to be up anytime soon. The Zealots are just going to go straight across to the main base, and I don't think he even needs the pylons anymore. This one is going to get taken out, so maybe a Zealot is going to save that, but maybe not. Looks like it's going down. I don't think it matters. The Zealots coming out, and workers moving up to the top side, so TLO with 3 queens is going to be doing a bit of damage here, but still not enough, I don't think. Save this. However, he does have an amazing amount of lings. They are all going absolutely nuts here. The queens are trying their very, very best to hold off, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. This base is going to go down. The zealots are going to take it out. A lot of workers going down, maybe even a couple of queens coming down. And the zealots eventually do get knocked out. I feel like they're down to their very last dregs, but they've taken down 2 bases. They've taken down more lings than I can probably count. And there we go, 15 zealots gone down, 85 lings. It's incredible that TLO has actually killed 16 zealots, 18 zealots considering that all he has are lings. He doesn't have a single roach on the field, so that is quite incredible, but still 88 lings. And what's even more terrible is 2 bases have gone down. He's managed to get this base up, but right now his economy is actually less than the Protoss, and you know the Zerg is in a bad situation where they have less workers than the Protoss, especially when the Protoss is on 2 bases. I mean, that's just embarrassing at that point. So TLO is going to be macroing up hard. At the same time, he needs to get an effective zealot counter, which is going to be the roaches, but I feel like herO knows that zealots are sort of spent out. He's actually going for a 7 gate off 2 bases. He likes his economy, and he wants to finish this off nice and quick. He doesn't want to be just faffing around too much. He knows that TLO is probably going to go for roaches at this point, and so he's going to go for a ton of stuff to sort of finish this off. Overlord does see more gateways warping in, so that may tell him something crazy is going to be happening right now. So we'll just have to see how these guys can do. Not a zealot in that army right there, and all they have to do is set up a pylon, move in, and start doing some damage. TLO desperately trying to get his macros is not that good. He's trying to get us some roaches. He's got the first 5 coming out now. 9, sorry. And 9 is a very, very good start. Whether it'll be enough to deal with this, I do not know. He's constantly sending out lings to do a bit of a scout on these guys. Watching out for the pylons. The first pylon's coming down here. I don't think the lings have any chance of knocking that out, although they are staying out of range until this force gets out of there. So they are holding them to defend the pylon, or they were anyway before they all sacrificed themselves. Here we go, a ton of stalkers. This is going to be the death push right here. And TLO scouting out the army, realizing that it is mainly stalkers. And oh my god, just for the fun of it, Mr. herO going for 10 hallucinated Colossus. And TLO is going to have a lot of fun trying to sort out this mess, because the Colossus, I mean, TLO isn't even going to be worried about the Colossus damage, but of course it's hard to click on those stalkers when the hallucinations are out there. He doesn't have anything to detect, so he has to manually click on the stalkers, and it's just not going to happen right now. Not going to have the roaches coming up, but stalkers instantly destroying them just straight away. And the Colossus, man, just a very, very effective cover for the stalkers early in this game. And yes, he's just going to allow them to get in here. And there we go. A massive amount of stalkers still just staying there. And Mr. TLO gives the GG right there. So herO taking a very, very nice victory. But it was all over early game, man. herO just did exactly the right thing. He went against a early 3-base Zerg without a fast roach tech. And he went for a ton of zealots. And at that point, nothing that TLO was going to be able to do could really knock that back. I mean, he gave it his very, very best, but zealots versus lings, I mean, in the end, no, it's not going to happen. The only thing that TLO might have been able to do is when his 3rd base was being taken down was to build a wall of spines here. That may have helped him out. That may have saved him his expansion. But he chose instead to go for a ton of lings and queens. And as you saw, this base did go down. So he ended up losing 2 bases. And very, very unfortunate. But regardless, great play there from herO. Great sense of what to go for in the early game. And it basically won in the game. So there we go. Done. Thank you very much for watching this game. And I will catch you guys tomorrow for another one. So stay tuned. This has been herO Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game. Yeah, I got the hiccups, man. This is not good.